Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into one of the hardest things in programming, naming things. But don't worry, this guide is here to make it easier. While these tips can be applied to any language, I'll be using JavaScript to show you how it works. Tip number 1. Stick to English. Always name your variables and functions in English. Naming conventions. Pick one naming style and stick to it, whether it's camel case, Pascal case, or snake and case. Keep it consistent. Some languages have specific traditions, so be sure to check the documentation or explore popular GitHub repos for inspiration. A good name is short, intuitive, and descriptive. Short. Easy to type and remember. Intuitive. It should sound natural, like regular speech. Descriptive. Clearly reflect what it does. Avoid contractions. Shortening a name makes the code harder to read. And never duplicate the context where a name is used. If removing the context doesn't hurt clarity, do it. Make your names result-oriented. Names should hint at what you expect the function or variable to return or do. Naming functions. Here's a pattern you can use when naming functions. Prefix, plus action, A plus high context, HC plus low context, LC. For example, notice how the order of context affects meaning. Should update component suggests an action about to happen, whereas should component update implies something will update itself, and you decide when. Common action words. Get. Retrieves data, can be used for both synchronous and asynchronous operations. Set. Assigns a value. Reset. Returns something to its initial state. Remove. Take something away, like removing a filter from a search. Delete. Completely wipe something out. Think deleting a post. If you're confused about when to use remove versus delete, here's a quick trick. Pair remove with add and delete with create. For instance, you add an item somewhere, but you don't create it to somewhere. Compose. Combines existing data into something new. Handle. Often used for callbacks, handling specific actions. Context. Functions usually act on something, so name them with their domain in mind. For instance, you don't need to say filter array in JavaScript, since we know filter works on arrays. Prefixes. Sometimes prefixes give extra meaning to names, especially in function names. Here are a few examples. Is describes a characteristic, usually a Boolean. Has indicates whether something possesses a value, Boolean. Should suggests a conditional action, Boolean. Min, max used for boundaries or limits. Prev, next, describes state transitions. Singular versus plural. Just like prefixes, use singular or plural names depending on whether you're working with one or multiple values. That's it. Following these tips will make your code more readable and maintainable. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more programming tips.